So the first time I truly recognized that this is what I want to do in life was when I was 6 years old. I went to Haridwar with my grandfather and my mother. We'd gone for a family ritual. And on the banks of the Ganges, there was plastic pollution strewn everywhere. The waters were murky and there were literally thousands of people on either side of the river.
Ganga is the lifeline of this continent.
This is such a mighty river, it affects your thought. It attaches you with itself.
River Ganga is the third largest river in the world at the discharge point.
सभ्यता का विकास नदियों के साथ ही हुआ है, नदियों के किनारे भी हुआ है और सभ्यता नष्ट भी होगी अगर नदियां नष्ट होंगी।
We are still surrounded by enough people who don't realize that the largest looming threat to humanity is climate change.
Not only river, but water as such has a big component in the entire nature and biodiversity conservation.
There is a real threat to these species.
Our responsibility as humans, which is written in our mythology, is not just to other humans and not just to ourselves, but it extends onto nature, it extends onto other animals.
The moment your mind settles, it is then that you actually start thinking of others.
I remember my mum telling me that there are dolphins in the river, there's fish in the river. I was just thinking, how do they live if this is the Ganga?
It is unfortunate, but India is the fifth most polluted country in the world. 40 crore people live in and around Ganga, and their life to a large extent is synonymous with river Ganga.
You look at any place, more or less the civilization started next to rivers.
Culture and spiritual values have blossomed on the banks of Ganga.
There was a music of life in between the community and the river Ganga.
Whether it is north or south, east or west, the whole of India reveres Ganga.
I feel that people living around Ganga, they may not be polluting Ganga so much as the waste from the corporation, etc.
आप देखते हैं नदी के दोनों किनारे जो होते हैं उसके पास बहुत सी जगह होती है, तो the place belongs to the river. लेकिन हम क्या करते हैं कि उसमें हम घर बना देते हैं, उसमें हम कूड़े डाल देते हैं, उसमें हम मलबे डाल देते हैं.
Because of its religious, connotations, there has been some problems.
It just goes beyond me, this entity, this water body that is prayed to in our country is so abused.
This is a big paradox. And typically in Hindi we say astha, so we have so much of respect and reverence.
लेकिन गंगा केवल विश्वास का या आस्था का विषय ही नहीं है.
अगर हम आस्था की बात करते हैं तो माँ गंगा हो गया, अगर हम आस्था से अलग हट के बात करते हैं तो खाली नदी और पानी हो गया.
We have to convert or we have to take that astha or reverence to our duty, kartabya.
Save the Spirit of the Ganga is a youth-led project that we've started towards sensitizing and mobilizing people of India, as well as internationally, towards working towards the preservation, rejuvenation, and the protection of the river Ganga.
The most humbling lesson is when you learn that you can learn from something from your children too. And I learned that many years ago when Sumair was just 4 years old.
I'd go with my cousins and I'd say, oh, here are some cars, here are some trucks, we'll take it, we'll clean the Ganga, and we just play with that around. Now we had over 70 to 80 volunteers coming by the banks of the Ganga, by the Yamuna, in Uttar Pradesh, in Delhi, in Bihar, to clean the rivers.
When my brother first told me about this, I was so skeptical because I didn't think anyone would want to do this, but it's amazing how many people showed up.
Hi, my name is Nobu. I'm Japanese. I'm living in India for 20 years.
I'm Aryan. I'm 12 years old.
Well, we got to know about this through social media and through Sumair's story, and that's how I called all of my friends, and we're all over here because we care for this cause.
The end result should be one that looks for longevity and continuity, not just let me pick up a piece of trash today and Ganga saaf ho gaya.
I think it starts with enough knowledge and enough literacy and awareness about the fact that we are destroying our ecosystem, that we are destroying this mighty river.
ये जो river rejuvenation है, it is not just pollution abatement.
Planet Earth is not ours alone. You know, I don't think we understand that we need to coexist with nature.
अगर हम लोग गंगा की बात करें तो गंगा पे हम लोगों को कई तरह के जलीय जीव मिलते हैं। कछुआ है, घड़ियाल है, मगरमच्छ है, डॉल्फिन है।
Today, both Ganga and Gangetic dolphins are threatened due to various human activities. So I feel if you have to save Ganga, save dolphins.
A shocking video went viral on social media showing a dolphin, a Gangetic dolphin, which is actually an endangered species, being beaten to death with sticks and rods by the men. In a tweet, the Pratapgarh police have said that the incident is from the 31st of December and that 3 men have been jailed over this incident.
The major threats to the Gangetic dolphins today is the pollution is one. Then this bycatch mortality, entanglement of the dolphins with the fishing net. The newly emerging threat is the movement of the big vessels, inland waterways vessels into the river.
Man has used the waterways for transportation for, I don't know, more than 5,000, 10,000 years. So that is not an issue. The issue is that how do you sustain it? For us as an organization, as a part of government, we are fully committed.
We have created for the first time a baseline of their population, identified the areas where they are more endangered. We have to do more there. We have also identified areas where all these aquatic life are thriving. So we have to keep them thriving. We cannot say that the rules or the law does not exist, but enforcement has to improve.
The most important thing for any river is the availability of water in the river.
Our resources on this planet are not infinite, and everything that we are doing is leading to a very, very unsustainable way of living.
There are substitutes for oil and gas, but as far as the water is concerned, there is no substitute actually.
अपने यहाँ क्या है कि लोग सोचते हैं ये तो गवर्नमेंट का काम है, हमारा काम नहीं है. You see, it's very easy to criticize.
Sewage management is not all, or industrial effluent is not all.
I think cleaning is perhaps easier than improving flow in the river.
With efforts like yours, people become much more aware. Then we can force the companies to not just look at the profits, but the 3P bottom line, the profits, the people and the planet.
We are talking about the concept of wise use. What are the things which we have to do?
Rainwater will come. You harvest this rainwater. Revive all the small water bodies. Revive groundwater. Automatically flow in Ganga or any other river will improve.
The river Ganga has less than 700 gharials remaining, about 2,200 Gangetic river dolphins, and also a Ganges river shark that I read about, which has around 10 to 50 individuals in the entire river.
Are you aware of the species that live in the Ganga?
The river dolphins, Ganges gharial, the Ganges river shark.
कुछ नहीं है इसमें तो नहीं होते यहाँ पर वो खाना रैपिंग करती तो बताते नहीं कोई इसमें नहीं है कुछ।
पहली बार आया हूँ और यहाँ पे गंगा में घड़ियाल हैं या नहीं है इसके बारे में मुझे कोई जानकारी।
घड़ियाल का शब्द जो आपने कहा है वो गलत संदेश।
नहीं, आपको पता है कि पूरे
गंगा जी का ठंडा पानी है, यहाँ पे कोई मगरमच्छ नहीं है, छोटी मछलियाँ होती है, इससे बड़ी कोई नहीं होती। सुन लीजिएगा, मेरे को 26 साल हो गए गंगा स्नान करते करते।
There's only 700 gharials in the entire world, and out of which half of the population is residing in mid to South India and the Chambal. Seeing one upstream in a place like Haridwar where there's so many movements of people, that's something unheard of. It was just by God's grace that a kind young man who works here very tirelessly told us that there's been a sighting of a gharial, and we were blessed with the opportunity to see one, and this is a lifetime opportunity.
It's a very complicated web which nature has created.
See, sometimes we do not understand that if a number of species are disappearing from this earth, that means we are also going somewhere towards the extinction actually.
We are all directly connected. All rivers empty out into the sea.
Loving your home, your planet, which is your actual home, is your connection to God. Empathy and compassion is your connection to God.
I see the Ganga as purity, as vibrancy, as life itself.
That belongingness that people feel with nature, with the environment, is what will stop them from doing all these things that we have seen they do mindlessly.
Our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru said, "The Ganga symbolizes our mighty past, which flows into the present and determines the future of India."
So Ganga is supposed to be pure knowledge, and if you are exposed to just pure knowledge just like that, you will be finished. That is why she first goes into Shivji's head and he lets her out drop by drop. And so if we just take tasks and break them down into small sized chunks, you will be amazed at how much you accomplish.
The river's strength surprises you. So you have to believe in its strength. It has been there since thousands of years. I have no doubt it will remain for thousands of years. But we have to do our bit.
Right now, climate change and conserving our planet needs to be the main conversation everywhere.
For example, let's say everybody talks of carbon footprints. That's very important. But we should also start talking of water footprints. हमें ये पता होना चाहिए कि भाई आपने अगर एक शर्ट पहनी है तो इस शर्ट को बनने में कितने लीटर पानी की ज़रूरत पड़ी है.
Unless people are involved, community are involved, things cannot move.
Actors, writers, anybody who has a certain following, it is your responsibility to use your power for betterment of humanity, of our society, of our planet. And that's exactly what I've been doing.
We have a youth that is extremely powerful today. We have children who are more willing and more able to engage with causes around the world.
हम एक लोग को जागरूक करेंगे, वो अपने परिवार के 4 लोग को जागरूक करेगा, वो 4 लोग धीमे धीमे अगर बढ़ेंगे तो हम लोग जल्दी मतलब है कि कामयाबी पा सकते हैं.
Let us all make effort to save Ganga at any cost.
Bestow your gaze upon her. Take a vow to honor our mother, Ganga.